showing we don't need roads.
Guys, I genuinely, truly love this movie. Seriously, thank you for taking the time. I appreciate you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
that's so nice to hear.
Yeah,
Thank you.
of course. Mr. Malkovich, I'm going to start with you. It goes without saying, I think, that Moretti's followers on the compound are very passionate fans, and you have had such an incredible career of different types of work in your filmography. I'd love to know which movie from your career has yielded the most interesting and passionate fan base.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think there are several different ones, and they're very distinct fan bases, I think. One would be a film called Con Air, and that's very popular in certain communities and cultures. A little part I had in a film called Rounders, men of a certain age who like poker, love that, and were kind of quite obsessed by it. Dangerous Liaison was a whole different kind of fan. So there have been a few that people responded to greatly, and but all very different, all very different types of people.
You basically named the three like projects. I love Dangerous Liaisons and Rounders and Con Air. So I would come up to you about all three of them. It's as I'm watching this film, it is fascinating to watch this young journalist slowly kind of realize that this celebrity and his entire situation, his fandom, the compound, it's just a really weird situation. I'm curious for both of you, when you were rising up in the business and you started getting the chance to meet celebrities and go to premieres and attend parties, do you ever remember sort of being in a Hollywood situation and looking around and going like, I'm sorry, but this is just weird?
Probably for sure. I don't know if there's any one instance, and I was just talking about this. I don't really like fan girl for anyone. And it's not that I'm not a fan of people and their work. I guess I don't know if I'm like jaded by it or if I just don't care that much because I just know that everyone is just a normal person. So like I think when you're in it, it kind of takes away the like illusion of like this Hollywood thing that I'm like, oh no, they're literally just a normal person. So I don't really fangirl at all. But there are definitely moments when I look around and I'm just like, what are we doing? This is so crazy. Like, who am I talking to? Like, I'm doing shots with like Reese Witherspoon. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, there are like weird moments where you're like, how did I get here? I watched her on TV and as a kid in Ohio. So there's definitely those moments. But I think just because I know that everybody is just so normal and it's not as fabulous as it is fabulous for sure, but everybody's just kind of like a normal person, and I kind of just interact with them in that way.
I agree.
Mr. Malkovich, do you have I have a hard time imagining you like geeking out or fanboying over people like when you started out in the industry and you got to start meeting the people who you admired. In what way do you express your admiration for your colleagues?
Generally, I would say by leaving them alone. And people, I went once, I was going to Africa the next morning, and I went once with a friend, a screenwriter, a friend of mine out here, to a Bob Dylan concert. And she was friendly with one of Dylan's sons. And so she went backstage, and I was waiting around the bar area for her, and a man was standing next to me, and he goes, "Oh my God, you have to come back and meet Bob. He, you know, some version of he loves you or loves what you do or something like that." And I said, "I'm sorry, you're out of your mind. I would not. There are like 50 people there he has to deal with already. Just he just had 3 hours on stage. I would just leave him alone. Of course, I admire him, but I don't require any more of him than of the great work he's given us for how many, is it 60 years now
Yeah.
or something? That's enough,
I think he would appreciate that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Really quick, I'm just going to squeeze in Mr. Malkovich. You obviously, I'm talking to you from Chicago, and
Sure.
we love you in this city, sir. And you have such a great history of performing on stage in our city. And I'm wondering if your stage work in our beautiful city helped you in any way channel Moretti, someone who has to also, in a different way, perform on stage. Is there any through line between your work in Chicago and this pop star?
Well, all those lines pass through Chicago because that's where I learned to my work at Steppenwolf Theater, which we started the day after we all graduated university, and I owe everything to my friends and colleagues there and to the city, which gave us great support.
Well, guys, I cannot thank you enough. I know you have a very busy, crazy day. I truly, genuinely love this movie, and if I see you guys, I'm gonna leave you alone. But know that I love you. Know that I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.